So, let's talk about something we all deal with. How do you stay centered and purposeful when the world around you is just so chaotic? We're going to explore a really profound blueprint for doing just that. One that comes from an ancient text called the Maharatnakuta Sutra. And it all kicks off with a question that is incredibly relevant today. Our whole journey today starts right here. A bodhisattva, someone whose whole mission is to help everyone become enlightened, goes to the Buddha and asks this really simple but powerful question. How do I actually do this? How do I live this path, this great vehicle, in my real day-to-day life? And the Buddha's answer, well, it isn't just a simple do this, don't do that. It's way more like a detailed blueprint. He lays out these 10 essential qualities, or dharmas, that are pretty much the building blocks for anyone wanting to walk this path of deep compassion. Now, we're not going to get through all 10 today. That'd be a lot. We're just going to focus on the first three. And there's a good reason for that. It's like building a house, right? If you don't get the foundation absolutely perfect, the whole structure is just going to be wobbly. These first three steps, they're that solid, unshakable foundation. So what's in this foundation? It's this amazing trio of qualities. First up is faith, and we're talking about a really deep, unwavering trust in the path. Then there's conduct, making sure your actions, your words, and even your thoughts are all lined up with compassion. And third, there's nature. This is about cultivating a character that is genuinely gentle and calm. It's not about putting on an act. It's about transforming who you are at your very core. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting and kind of tricky. This whole path, it's not designed for some remote monastery or a retreat on a mountaintop. Nope, it's meant to be practiced right here in our messy, complicated, everyday world. And that sets up a really fascinating paradox. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you fully engage with life, with all its ambitions, its disappointments, its temptations, and all the conflicts, without getting stained by it, without losing your clarity and your compassion? How do you stay true to yourself when the world is constantly pulling you in a million different directions? The Buddha's answer to this is it's brilliant. He doesn't give you a rulebook. He doesn't give you a list of do's and don'ts. Instead, he offers these three incredibly vivid metaphors that teach a state of mind. If that foundation of faith, conduct, and nature is what you're building, these metaphors are how you protect it while living in the real world. First, picture a skilled chemist. They can handle powerful, dangerous poisons, right? But not to cause harm. They use them to create life-saving medicine. In the same way, a bodhisattva learns to handle the poisons of the world, like greed or that constant outrage we see online, using them skillfully to understand suffering and help others, without ever letting those poisons get inside and corrupt their own mind. Next, think of someone tending a great roaring fire. They respect its power. They use its heat and energy for good, but they know you don't just grab the flames. A bodhisattva engages with the fire of passion in the same way. Whether that's ambition or creativity or relationships, they use that energy to fuel compassionate action without getting consumed or totally burned out by it. And this last one, wow, this really illustrates the highest level of skill. It's like a snake charmer who so deeply understands a venomous snake that they can interact with it, even play with it, and remain completely unharmed. This is how the bodhisattva can engage with the most dangerous mental states, like intense anger or ignorance, both in themselves and in other people, while their wisdom acts as the ultimate protection. So, what's the result of all this skillful engagement? Well, it allows a bodhisattva to see the world on a much, much deeper level. It's actually the key to understanding what the sutra calls the Buddha's secret teachings. This is where you see that things are almost never what they seem on the surface. For instance, on one level, it looks like the Buddha has back pain. But from this deeper perspective, that back pain is actually a skillful lesson for all of us about impermanence. Or he has an enemy, but really, that person's actions are just revealing the Buddha's unshakable virtue. Even going hungry becomes a powerful teaching on karma. It's all a form of compassionate instruction. And that brings us full circle, right back to that original question. We've seen how to practice this path, but why is it called the Mahayana, the great vehicle? I mean, what makes it so great? The sutra explains it so beautifully. It's great because it's like a king's royal road. It's not some narrow, winding footpath that only a few people can use. No way. It is a vast, open, unobstructed highway that is designed to carry all beings, without a single exception, to the ultimate destination of freedom and enlightenment. That's what makes it great. And that leaves us with this final thought, this ancient blueprint, this idea of being in the world but not stained by it. It isn't just a historical curiosity, it's a living wisdom. So the question for us is, how can these metaphors, handling poison, tending fire, and charming snakes, inspire a more skillful, a more compassionate, and a wiser way of navigating our own very complex modern lives?